Hi everybody, this is my level. It's called Igualada River. It's based off of a real cemetery in Spain called Igualada Cemetery, which is itself meant to represent a river that flows back and forth. Um, yeah, I kind of dialed up the water metaphor a lot. There's a lot of stuff in the photo that's meant to represent um, the the motion of water and the flowing of water, so it becomes kind of like a water facility almost type situation. So the first thing you see is this rounded um, almost looking like a dam type thing where basically the idea is that the river of life flows through here and then washes out there because you die. And that's pretty much it. And the player shouldn't understand that the first time they look at this, but once they go through the rest of the level and they're reminded of this area at the end, they might understand it when they see it. The original cemetery has this design a lot. It's kind of a tile design, but it doesn't tile like straight down. It tiles in a direction that way. So it represents water, basically, in the original cemetery and my own level. Originally, the player comes to the first grave, which has a face on it. It's meant to be sort of a mirror stone type situation where it just shows the player where the character was at this point in their lives. So since we're at the end level, the face is pretty messed up and it's kind of old and weathered, and as you go up, it becomes less weathered. And a lot of the decals and details in the level are meant to tell the player that it's like water that this facility is supposed to handle. So these grates are for water. Metaphorically, they represent things that suck away from you or hurt you in your life. And these decals right here represent the water level, where it's decreasing over time because of the grates. Obviously, the grates are a lot more obvious than the decals, but hopefully the player understands that it's water by the time they're done with the level. This is the next one. It's a little bit less messed up. Basically, one of the major points of the level is that I wanted the player to feel really secluded. So when you're climbing up the stairs here, you don't get a good view of that. You don't really see the next place very well. You're kind of trapped in the present at this moment in time. And the idea is that this builds up tension to the end of the level, where the player finally is rewarded with a vista view of everything that they've traversed. Here's another face. The idea is that the level takes place in autumn because autumn comes before winter, which represents death. It's a very straightforward metaphor that's happening here conceptually. Most of the time I spent and the hopes that I have in regards to what the level ends up doing is more in the emotional content rather than in the literal conceptual content, basically, because it's pretty simple. These walls are also meant to highlight the feeling of water, so they kind of bounce and like snake back and forth, those two, and the tops are rounded, implying some sort of, not obviously they're not eroded because the water's not up there, but they're meant to imply soft curves and that sort of thing, which water does. This is the next grave. It's not messed up at all. This is where the player would be born or something. Here's where the water enters this building. This building itself is meant to be the most tense part of the level, where there's where you can't see very well. You can't see anything outside. Sorry, that's what I meant. And it's meant to be the climax of the level, where finally, once you go out here, it's like a breath of fresh air, and you're rewarded with a ton of grass and the most bright area and this pattern a lot. And obviously the level isn't like extremely tense or anything, but it's meant to have an arc, and this is basically the end of the arc, the resolution of the arc, where you stop and you look over everything, and that is pretty much it. Yeah, thank you for watching.